Hey guys, and welcome to Friday Morning Inspo, the second podcast within one podcast. No, I'm just kidding. It's really just my fun little pet project. How are you guys liking it, Friday Morning Inspo? This is its third week. So I wanted to talk a little bit about fights, conflict, arguments, stuff that happens on the weekends. Now, I should have done this, and I meant to do this before I started this episode. I wanted to search and see if there was a statistic to say that couples have more fights on weekends than weekdays. But, I feel like that's a losing battle in itself. Like, that feels like a fight that is already happening. Just kidding. But it would be interesting to know. And, you know what? Let me find out real quick. Hold on, because now I want to know. All right, kids, my suspicions were correct. Is it suspicions or suspicion? Couples are more likely to have arguments on the weekends, particularly on Sunday evenings, because the Sunday scaries, than during the weekdays. And this is often due to a combination of factors, including more time together, less structure, and mismatched expectations about how to spend leisure time, which can lead to increased conflict, according to Psychology Today. Now, Psychology Today is not a peer-reviewed journal, but I do like it and I'm on it, so let's go with it. Okay, so now that we know this, now that we have gotten some empirical evidence, who's still with me? No? No one in grad school? It's cool. Let's talk about it. So the main thing that I see with couples, and you may think that you are the most unique couple and that your fights are the most unique fights, but and maybe they could be. Maybe I just haven't met you yet and I would be blown away by your fights. There's still time. But typically what I see is that people in couples have arguments because one or both people just can't see the other person's perspective. Yep, that's it. So just see the other person's perspective. The end. End of podcast. Just kidding. Gosh, I've said just kidding like 4 times today. It's late. It's been a long day. Okay, so here's the thing. We all have our own lens that we look through, right? We all have our own very unique perspective. And that's based upon our upbringing, what we saw our parents do, what we've done in regards to our gender, our culture, where we live, la 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 la. It's all made up our perspective on life, including relationships. So a big factor that people never look at, okay, that's pretty harsh, but sometimes just never think to look at, is what did I watch my parents do as an example of a relationship? What were their roles? What was my mother's role? What was my father's role? Were they still married? Were they divorced? Were they single parents? All of these are really important indicators of your perspective of what a relationship is and how you will behave in it. So let's create a scenario. Let's say you're a woman and you grew up with parents who stayed together, like amazing, right? They stayed together. Mom was a stay-at-home mom, maybe like helped out, at school, like PTA stuff, whatever, just help her. Didn't have a real career. Her whole career was like taking care of you guys. And your dad was, let's do something very traditional. He was a dentist and, went to work every day. Mom did all the chores, did all the cleaning, the cooking, the everything, helped, you kids with like all of the like homework and assignments. And dad was great at like sort of weekend warrior stuff, right? But like when he came home, he needed his like alone time. Your mom made dinner for all of you. You all had dinners together, maybe watched some TV, and then dad went to sleep and then went to work. And so you saw this incredibly traditional, Leave It to Beaver, does anyone even know what that is anymore, example of a couple. Now, let's say that your partner, let's just make it heteronormative right now. So like, straight woman and straight man, they're in a couple. So your partner, your boyfriend or your husband, he came from a divorced family where his dad was in and out of the picture, and his mom was a single mom raising, him and his brother. It was tough, and she did the best she could. And the brothers felt like they needed to sort of be the men of the house. Like your partner feels like he needed to be the man of the house and take care of his mother. And perhaps there's some enmeshment there. And he, for a living, does something kind of creative and entrepreneurial. And you, for a living, you are... Let's put you in school. Let's put you in grad school. Why not? Come join the ranks. Okay. And so you both have these very different lenses of what a couple looks like and what men do and what women do. Now, also, even if this wasn't heteronormative and these two characters that we are just coming up with literally off the top of my head, it was any kind of relationship, you could make it. They could be two women, two men. They could be whatever. Go crazy. If their parents looked like this, they are going to have a very specific lens that they see couples through and how they're going to see themselves. So let's just kind of like dial this down, right? Let's dumb it down. So when you, let's say you're the woman in this relationship, are having a conflict with your partner, and this is the conflict where, you're going to school all day, you're not working, they are going to work all day, and they're having like a 9-to-5 kind of job, and coming home and you have made dinner, and like you both have had dinner together and it's been fine. And then he, just like wants to watch TV, right? Like this feels really normal to you because that's what you watched your parents do, and you do the dishes and it's fine. But in your partner's case, like he is, like he wants to help you with dinner, and you're like, no, I want to make dinner. It's fine. Like, let me do it. That's my role. That's my job, right? And subconsciously you're thinking that, but instead consciously you're saying, no, I don't need your help. I don't need your help. Well, he doesn't know what to do because he helps his mother forever and he still does. And so if he can't help her, what is his role? Right? So then you guys start like arguing and you're like, I don't need help. It's fine. Like, go relax. It's been a long day. Aren't you tired? And he's like, no, I want to help. If I don't help, then I don't feel like needed and you're doing everything. And she's like, yeah, but it's fine. And you have this weird little like fight, right? And let's say that's been going on for like months or maybe years. And it's just like become this source of contention. So one partner, the girl partner, is like, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. I want to do this for you because I love you. And he's like, well, I love you and that's why I want to help you do this. Why can't we do it together? Now, maybe that couple's like, cool, now we just cook together. Done. No conflict. But maybe the two people are a little stubborn, as most couples are. So here's how we can like step back. Now, mind you, if you have a scenario that's better in your head that you're actually like living out in your own couple life, use that. But if not, here's your example. I want you, unless you're both listening at the same time, which would be amazing. I want you or both of you to zoom out of this problem that I've created. Really zoom out and look at it from a bird's eye view. Both people here really actually want to help each other, which is really nice, right? They're both trying to do good, nice things, considerate things for each other, but they are somehow coming into conflict by wanting to be nice to each other. Like, oh, boo-hoo. I wish all conflict were this simple. But it's really become a source of contention for them, and they don't know what to do. And they're like, now I'm angry at you. And this is what's going on a much deeper level. He is like, my role here is, yeah, I want to like sort of be this provider, right? You're going to school, I'm going to work, I'm taking care of us like financially. But because he grew up with a mother who took care of him financially, he is actually playing out the role of his mother, of like, I go to work, I take care of my family. But then also, he also played the role in his own life taking care of his mother by like helping her or making food or cleaning the house or doing like more like quote feminine things, you know, that more like quote women would have done, like housework, stuff like that, because, you know, his mom had everything to do. So he's a little bit more in his feminine, if you even want to go there, but maybe not. He's just a good helper. And she is like, wait, I want to be in my feminine by like cooking dinner and, you know, taking care of you and nurturing you. They're both trying to nurture each other. But when she is coming from this perspective and he is coming from his perspective and these two different lenses just clash, like, what do you do? First of all, this is truly the most important moment of this podcast. So like, listen to this. If you don't listen to anything else, if all of that seemed a little too heady, listen to this. When a couple is having conflict and they really, really can't seem to figure it out, this is when you actually have to like lay down your sword and lay down your, oh, but I'm right. And I want you to truly step into that other person's shoes. I mean, go grab their actual shoes and put them on. This is something we do in therapy. It's called changing the environment. Literally go put their shoes on. Try it. Let's see what happens. And really genuinely try to be like, okay, explain to me again your perspective and why. And be curious and keep asking them, okay, and then why this? And then why that? To really start understanding how they're coming up with their side of how they feel, their perspective. And don't try to be defensive, and don't try to like mansplain or womansplain what they're thinking and how they're feeling. Really just listen and just keep asking questions so that you understand exactly where they're coming from. And so as the girl in this perspective, or the woman, let's just say woman because she's probably a woman, the woman in this perspective is like, hey, I don't understand why you need to help me. I don't need help. Right? And so if she's listening to her partner who's like, I want to help you because I feel like if I don't help you, I'm not like holding up my end of the bargain. I know I went to work. I know I'm taking care of us. It's fine. But my heart is like hardwired to help you do this stuff because I helped my mom. And then once it all starts kind of coming out, the woman can be like, oh, that's why. Oh, I get it. And then you flip it, right? And the guy is like, okay, well, why won't you let me help you? And a lot of women are like, I don't need your help, right? Okay, we have a lot of reasons why we say that now, but that's a whole other podcast. If the guy's like, okay, why wouldn't you let me help you? And she's like, well, because I want to do this for you. I just have fun doing this, and maybe I just like cooking by myself. You know, I know what that feels like. I actually really like cooking by myself too. But if someone wants to help, it's fine. She's like, I just like cooking by myself. And that's it. It's like my Zen time. I can relax and I just really get into it. It's kind of a way for me to unwind from the end of the day. So then he's like, oh, I understand. And you really start to, and then she could get into like, well, my dad was, you know, a go to work dad and my mom is a stay-at-home mom. And like, you start really kind of like breaking down what it is that is creating the perspective. And you can really start to understand the perspective. Now, this could happen kind of quickly if you're willing to like dig deeper quickly. But if you're activated in this conflict that you're in and you're not willing to actually go to a place of curiosity for curiosity's sake, then I'm going to need you guys to just take a little moment to just hold your horses, and like calm down so that your nervous system isn't activated. And then you can come from a place of curiosity to really understand what is their perspective. And you know what? Maybe they need help figuring out why they have that perspective. Exactly. It might be a very short answer. It could just be because I do, because that's how I feel. That's not a real answer, guys. We're going to have to dig deeper than that. But when you really start to understand your partner's perspective and they in part understand yours, you guys can actually start respecting each other for where you're both coming from. Because the truth of conflict is that a lot of respect gets lost when we start fighting with our partner, when conflict starts to arise, because we just want to be, and maybe not always, but a lot of people just want to be right. And they don't even know how they could be wrong because they feel so right. And that is really where the curiosity comes in, and you have to put yourself, like, you have to zoom out, and you have to be like, okay, I'm going to check my ego right now and truly listen to what's going on. And a caveat. Now, men, sorry guys, this is not a criticism. This is just an observation. It's interesting because when men really, really don't want to be wrong as a partner to a man, you have to ask yourself, I wonder where that's really coming from. Like, what happens if if you are wrong? What happens? I mean, you could ask them kindly, respectfully, guys. Respect, not catty, not with a tone. What happens if you're wrong? Like, no, we're not doing that. But really just asking, like, okay, I hear you. I really do get what you're talking about. Like, you really genuinely feel this way, and you genuinely feel that your perspective is absolutely the right one. What would happen if it actually wasn't the right one? Like, truly, like, can you break it down for me? Like, how would you feel if you were wrong and you realized, you were wrong? Now, mind you, maybe I didn't phrase that really well, but that's the idea that we're trying to get at. And behind a lot of men's needing to be right is absolute fear of being wrong. Because if they're wrong, it's like they're brought up to be these protectors, providers, like save the day heroes, right? What if they don't save the day? What if they fail? What if they're wrong? What if they're not like adding up to the man that they think they should be? It's terrible. Can you imagine if you're a man, you can you imagine growing up feeling that kind of pressure? And it makes men have to sometimes just be right in order to maintain that level of masculinity that they were brought up with. And so the idea of being wrong is actually terrifying, whether it's conscious or subconscious. It's terrifying because if they're wrong, then what are they providing? What are they giving to the relationship? What is their role? And then that's it. No, I'm just kidding. But that is it. So for your Friday morning inspo, and this went kind of deep, whatever, I felt inspired. If you come into conflict this weekend with your partner, even if it's a tiny little conflict, I want you to tell your partner, stop, the fight, the argument, and just be like, hey, wait, can we just pause for a moment and say, I'd love us to just try zooming out and try to stand in each other's shoes, and then go get their shoes and then put them on and actually be try to understand where that person, your other person's coming from. And you could even do like a role play. I mean, role play is a real thing. It's not just for the bedroom. You could do a role play where you play him and he plays you. And again, I'm apologizing because I'm using heteronormative here, but like interject characters, like said characters, and play each other. And I'm telling you, that alone could really, really, really help you to see what the other person actually thinks you're thinking and what you actually think they're thinking. And if you're right, most likely you're wrong. Most likely you're wrong. And I say this as a therapist because I will listen to couples and I'll think, oh, I've got him pegged, or oh, I've got her pegged. And then I'll be like, what is your perspective on this? And they will tell me a perspective I never would have come up with. And it's always so humbling. So if you can just imagine, here I am, the therapist, just being incredibly surprised, just like their partner is when I get the actual truth. So it just goes to show we don't know everything. No one's right about everything. Two people can both be right about one thing for sure. You can both be right. Two things can be true. It's about how you decide to work as a team to find, I'm going to say the C word, compromise. To like find the compromise where, hey, I validate your perspective and I validate your perspective. Okay? How can we find a solution to this issue? Maybe sometimes I let you cook with me. Or maybe I just let you cook for me and I'll go watch TV. And we flip roles for the night. Honestly, taking yourself out of an environment, putting your partner's shoes on, role playing, it really is just helpful. It breaks up what you think is going to happen. And it gives you perspective on the other person. So that's my Friday morning inspo. I really hope that this can help because as science says, or Psychology Today, I'll find some real empirical stuff and put it in the show notes. People tend to fight more on the weekends, and that sucks because we're all waiting for the weekend. We just want some time off to go have some fun, and that's the last thing you want to do is have a fight with your partner. It's the last thing I want to do. I never want to fight. I really don't. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.